Hi there, welcome to today's video. My name is Tina Bishai and I'm the founder of Golden Healings. Today I want to share with you a research topic which I find really fascinating, and the question that is being answered is, can a treatment or intervention that we provide for kids with autism change their brain? So there was this really great article in Psychology Today. It's actually just dated April 2018, and it's written by a PhD professor, Catherine Stavropoulos. And the title of the article is, Can Intervention Change the Brain in Autism? And to me, this is a really fascinating question because we know that behavior in these kids can change, but the curiosity of a scientific mind was also asking the question, can the brain also see those changes? And so it was interesting to me because as a physiotherapist by background, I often likened it to a scenario that I would encounter often in a clinic, and it was people would come to me with back pain, severe back pain or leg pain, sciatica, and they would say, oh, maybe I shouldn't start treatment until I have my x-ray or CAT scan or MRI. And I would just look at them and say, it doesn't really matter what those scans show, because what matters is that we decrease your symptoms. And so when I looked at that scenario and I compared it to this scenario with kids with autism, I kind of likened it to the same thing, because you know what? It's great if the brain can show changes, but what really matters is that our kids have less symptoms and have better quality of life. And then, you know, in the scenario of the physiotherapy clinic, I would proceed with the treatments and people would have less symptoms and they would improve. So at the end of the day, it didn't matter, but it was always interesting to see. To me, though, the brain was different, and for our kids with autism, because I thought that if a person displays a new behavior, then it actually should translate into brain changes, because neuroplasticity teaches us this. And this article really begins to show us the same thing, and so it's an exciting finding to me. So welcome, my name is Tina Bishai. I'm the founder of Golden Healings, and it's here that I provide distant healings to adults and to children for all reasons, but my love is to help children with autism and ADHD. And I really believe in treating these kids holistically, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and energetically. And so I'd like to encourage you today, if you have any comments or questions, please reach out. Or if you'd like to book a one-on-one free consult with me, no obligation, just email me at tina@goldenhealings.com. And I'd be happy to set up a call with you. So I want to go back to this article and share with you what it says. So it talks about how there is a large amount of evidence that behavioral interventions can actually change behavior in autism. And most traditional interventions focus on social behaviors with the goal of increasing social communication for these kids. So eye contact, or initiating social interactions, or being responsive to social behaviors from others, or following another person's eye gaze, and that sort of thing. And it's great that these interventions have been shown to improve behavior, but since the scientific community generally agrees that autism is a brain-based disorder, studies have started measuring whether these interventions can actually change the brain. And so in this article in Psychology Today, Catherine looks at one study that measured brain activity of these kids before and after a behavioral intervention. And the intervention was called Peers. And it was basically an intervention that was designed to help teenagers with autism make and keep friends. And so the intervention involved weekly 90-minute meetings for 14 weeks and included both parent and child groups. And then the researchers measured brain activity from the three groups. The teens with autism who actually received the intervention, the teens with autism who were on a wait list, so they hadn't received it yet, and then the neurotypical teenagers who didn't receive the intervention at all. So what the researchers did was that they measured brain activity, and they measured it at rest, which essentially means that, you know, these kids were told to look at an image on a screen for 3 minutes, and the researchers were measuring their brain activity. And so what was interesting was there was a distinct difference between the right and the left hemispheres of the brains. when they were measuring this. And over the past few decades, studies have found that people who have more left hemisphere activity than right, tend to be higher in approach, they're more motivated, and have more positive emotions. And then on the other hand, people who have more right hemisphere activity than left, they tend to have more negative emotions and withdrawal. And in autism, researchers have observed less left hemisphere activity and more right hemisphere activity compared to neurotypical individuals. And so in this article, it goes on to explain that with a specific intervention, the researchers actually found that the teens who received this intervention showed a significant decrease in the right hemisphere activity and an increase in the left hemisphere activity. And then the teens who didn't complete the intervention didn't have the brain activity change at all. And also teens with autism who received the intervention had similar brain activities to the neurotypical teens after they received the intervention. And before receiving the peers intervention, both the waitlist group and the intervention group, so that all the kids with autism, they had markedly less hemisphere activity compared to neurotypical teens. And so another exciting finding was the relationship between brain activity changes and behavior. So teens who had the most left hemisphere activity after this intervention showed fewer related symptoms of autism, and they had more social contacts, which is really great. So I wanted to share this with you because overall these results suggest that teens with autism who received this specific intervention had significant changes in brain activity, and that those changes made the intervention group look more like a neurotypical group or those neurotypical brains. And those changes also obviously related to their symptoms of autism and their social behavior. And so for me, this was really exciting to read because as behavior changes in our kids, the brain follows and changes too. And that has implications for a number of things, long-term impacts of interventions or therapies and the quality of life that our kids can have. And my belief is that if your child's challenges or symptoms from autism or ADHD improve, then their brain change follows. So not only would you see an outer change with your child, the outer behavioral change, but then their inner body and their brain changes and follows too. And since I've seen personally such beautiful results with energetic healings I've done for kids with autism, I believe the same would be true in their brain activity as well. So I hope this research article has been helpful to you, and I look forward to sharing more articles with you in the coming weeks. Please visit my website at goldenhealings.com, and you can click on the tab that says free workshop, and you can listen to more information where I share of the three main pillars that influence your child's symptoms or challenges from autism or ADHD. And I hope it's helpful to you, and I look forward to chatting with you again. Take care. Bye-bye.